like we are maxed at 100. So we're going to have to do a redo for next month. I am recording this. And so those who are not getting the live will get to listen here in 30 minutes. They'll get to listen to the recording. My apologies to everyone that if you're watching this on replay, if you got to get in on the second chance, I appreciate it. And so we are going to finish the year strong. If you're ready for a record year in 2025, just put in the chat, I'm ready for a record year. And team, you're in close proximity of a bunch of winners, warriors, and champions. A mentor once told me, he said, Chris, you must be willing to pay any price and travel any distance to get in front of the success and significance you desire. And so we always tell our kids, the company you keep will determine the success that you reap. And you're in great company here tonight. And we're going to share some announcements, highlights, and promotions here real quick as we move into the specifics of the call. There's 4 new products coming January the 7th. And I'll quickly just touch on those quick products. You got first the Hokey Pokey, the Isagenix protein shake, the chocolate sea salt snack bites. We've got the protein crackers, the Knox. Lindsay, you want to move the slide? And so if you want to look at, there's 24 grams of high quality whey protein from the grass-fed cows. You can look through the slide there. We've got the snack bites. I'm super excited to test myself with our kids. And these protein crackers, I was fortunate to taste some of these. These are going to be an incredible snack, especially on cleanse days, and just a snack. And then a pre-workout for me, promoting cardiovascular health, is the Knox. And so 4 products that should excite all of you as we move into the new year. Of course, women's health, we're launching some incredible product lines. This will be a product that you could literally build your business with. That'll be launching here in the months to come. There's next level collagen, oral care, healthy home. So you're going to be able to allocate money you're already spending in your home, and you'll start to spend that money on Isagenix products. And then, of course, the Kickstart 90. This has been extended through January 12th. So there's multiple reasons for you to sign up for the Kickstart 90. I would encourage you to get with a partner, engage with a like-minded community, and incredible things can happen if you start strong. Of course, we're finishing strong here tonight. We're going to start strong in 2025. We have our Isagenix celebration in Denver, Colorado. There's right now, I believe it's $129 for a period of time, for a limited period of time. You can get registered. And so I would encourage you to do that. Make that commitment to get registered. And then if you followed the call last week, there are some promotions, and we'll hit another one later in the call. But the double PIB, and if you look at the date, December 30th through March the 30th, this isn't just 1 week, this isn't just 1 month. You guys can double your product introduction bonuses with qualifying packs. So you have to make sure you're focusing on the qualifying pack. What are people looking to do right now? They're looking to lose the butt and the gut. They're looking to have and look and feel better and do better. And so you want to make sure that with that double PIB, you're qualifying. And we'll get into some more details in all of our team pages. And then for this week, 20% off for new members and existing members at a $275 order. So there's lots of incentives, lots of promotions, lots of exciting products for all of us to kickstart and reset our business moving forward. And in recent conversations, team, talking to leaders like David Moses, leaders like Joel McNiff, Jason West, and other leaders, the common theme has been to synergize, to energize, and to move as one band and one sound. The power in numbers, the power in team. And I remember there was a story about the man, he was lost while driving in the country. He looked over to get his map and he ran off the road into a ditch. He wasn't injured, but he he got stuck in mud, and so he walked to a nearby farm, and as he got there, he heard, old Moses can get you out of that ditch. There was a farmer pointing to an old mule in the field. The man looked at the mule, then the farmer, who just kept saying, yep, old Moses can do the job. The man figured he had nothing to lose, so the man, the mule, and the farmer walked to the ditch. The farmer hitched the mule to the car, and with the snap of the reins, he said, pull, Joanne. He said, pull, Reed. He said, pull, Jason. Pull, Joel. He said, pull, Moses. And that mule pulled that car right out of the ditch. The man was amazed. He patted the mule, and then he thanked the farmer. He said, why'd you say all those names before you said Moses? He said, well, old Moses is about to go blind. As long as he believes he's a part of a team, he doesn't mind pulling. And you see, team, when we pull together, when we stick together, we can go further, faster. Look at spider silk, thinner than human hair, stronger than steel fiber. You take spider silk, weave it into a rope just 2 inches thick, tie it to the tail of a 747 jet, ask the pilot to take off. It can't. That's how strong one thread of spider silk is when woven with others. And that's the power of synergy. That's the power of team. And I want to bring on a couple of our seasoned leaders, a multi-million-dollar earner. She's helped thousands of people. Y'all maybe put in the chat, thousands. She's a professional to the highest level, character, integrity, and she knows the power in numbers, the power in teams. So Joanne, I would love for you to unmute and just share with everyone the power of us coming together and the power of the opportunity ahead in 2025.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. And what a great analogy, talking about teamwork. And that's exactly what I'd like to share with you all tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Joanne McMahon, and I have been in the industry for quite some time, a little over 30 years. I can't believe it. And it's been such a joy. You think that you'd get bored by it or want to quit, or it's old, it's whatever, but it's always new. It's always something great going on. But I want to share with you a couple topics here real quick of what we're going to do as a team. Like a lot of us think that when we join, we all talk about, hey, I'm with you. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to run with you. We're going to do this together. And then all of a sudden, slowly, people start backing away or they don't feel like they fit in. Well, that's different here. And we want you to come with, we have open arms. Believe me, we're all here. We're all seasoned distributors, if you will, or associates. But I do want to talk to you about a little bit of things I put together, just talking about leveraging the collective experience. If I was brand new in this industry today, and you don't know it, if you're brand new, you've never done anything like this, you've never been involved with Isagenix, you've never even really heard of networking before, I want you to understand that there is expertise galore here. You are on a team of people that have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours and years and decades worth of experience that you get to tap into. That's the beauty of what we have going on with the team that you are on. As a matter of fact, working with Isagenix, we have all the knowledge, the strategies, the way to build. Is all you have to do, and is all I have to do is just plug in to what they put together. So corporate has already done that. So they put together these wonderful scientifically proven products. They put together a compensation plan that is second to none. You guys have been around a long time. I've looked at a lot of comp plans. People try to entice you to come over with their comp plans. And I look and I say, if I did that same work with your company, what would my income be? And it's always less. I'm like, we have a great compensation plan. And then, of course, the leadership here. You can't ask for better leadership. These people are willing to go to work for you. A unified team can reach more people. So if you come to my meeting and maybe you're just getting started and you've got one or two people, but we've already been building here for a couple years or a couple decades, there's a lot of people that you get to plug right into that energy. Use our testimonies, use the testimonies that came before you, use the before and afters, create your own story, start plugging in and get excited about your future. Now is the time to get excited about your future. The doors are wide open. Isagenix has put a lot of money into the compensation plan, the products, the celebrations, all that good stuff. The other thing that's great about plugging into a team and why it's good to do that right now is accountability. Okay. A lot of us, it's easy to give up on ourselves. Well, I should get up at 7, but I'll wait till 7:30. But if you're meeting at 7, right? You're up, you're ready to go because you're accountable to someone else. It just makes it easier. It keeps you rolling. And then all of a sudden that starts to become a habit. Expand your network, right? You can expand your network a little bit better if you work with us as a team. It's just easier because when you start realizing that you start meeting people and knowing their stories, you can tap into them. Hey, I know a guy that had some issues like Bob, or I know somebody that used to have a cleaning company and a building company like Bob and Joe, or I know somebody that's into sports like Chris, right? Or into muscle cars like David Moses, right? Or the horse business like Linda Conti, right? So people go, you know what? I know somebody just like that. They're relatable. I want them to hear your story. And then sustainable growth. By working together, it's easier to move. It's easier to grow. Okay. When I first got started in the industry a long time ago, we had none of these tools. If we would have had these type of tools, it would have been a whole nother story. No, we didn't have internet 30 years ago where, basically you faxed everything in, you'd write things out and fax stuff in. It was so crazy, but we did it. We made it. But today we have all of this technology and Zooms and ways to meet people all around the world that we can share these beautiful products with. So our sustainable growth can happen. And then, of course, the life changes that you can incorporate right now, your self-image. Start using the product. Start becoming a product of the product. Find a couple things that you like and become passionate about it. Of course, being in business for yourself. You are in business, right? You really are. A lot of people, you may think that you're just doing it as a hobby or you're kind of playing with it. Change that. Make 2025 the year that you say, hey, I'm going to make some things happen. I'm going to plug in and participate, especially Kickstart 90. That's a great thing to become accountable. And then solve big problems. That's what our business is about. We solve big problems. What are those problems? Well, financial, health goals. Right? Financial and health are two of the biggest problems most people have. If we can combat those, we got it. We got this done. And then, of course, mental and spiritual, right? Those two things all go together. So, Chris, my philosophy is just plug into the action, go where the action is, plug in, and start rubbing elbows with some of these people that are making big, big things happen, and it'll rub off on you. So thank you, Chris.
Multi-million-dollar nuggets. Multiples. You all give some love to Joanne in the chat. That was, hopefully you watch the recording and just take a bunch of notes because that was rapid fire nuggets. Let's move into another seasoned leader. 5 decades. Maybe you put in the chat 5 decades in network marketing. And listen to this, $2 billion in commissions paid to his team in those 5 decades. Not a million with a B, a Billy. 2 billion. Let's move over to Reed Nelson. I would love to hear your perspective, Reed, on this incredible group here. Of course, we maxed out and people will be watching the replay. But your excitement after 5 decades and all of the success and million-dollar earners that you've created through your wisdom, experience, and you just, failing, getting knocked down, getting back up. Would love to hear your excitement.
Well, thank you, Chris. And hi, everybody. It's great to be with you on this glorious first day of 2025 Isagenix calendar day, right? It's a new year right now. So it's good to be with you. And thanks for inviting me on. As Joanne was talking, a lot of things I was going to say, she said, so it's awesome. Thank you very much. But there's magic in numbers. There's magic in numbers. If you're all by yourself right now, it's just you and your team, you don't have a team, it's okay. If you got 1 or 2 people, it's okay. It doesn't take thousands of people to create thousands of people. It takes a few people that really want to run, right? And so what Joanne was talking about is plugging in. That's part of the magic to building. One of my, in fact, the greatest mentor I ever had was Bob Proctor. And one of the first things he ever told me was, don't let your past dictate your future. If you didn't have a good year last year, forget it. Move forward. It's a new day, right? Don't let your past dictate what's going to happen next. You're full control of that, right? And so Another thing you said that was so perfect was plug in. We're going to have a lot of meetings like this. Plug in. You're by yourself. You want to be with the team. It helps you. When you have one new person, plug them into this. It'll explode. They love the energy. Groups of people create massive energy. It's mind food. We had people in our other businesses that over the years, and right now even, got involved when things were just screaming, and they didn't even know how they got there. They got to the top because they got sucked up in the whirlwind. They started talking to people that got excited. They plugged them in, and they got excited. And I'm not even sure what they were excited about. But energy is catchy. It's contagious. So be around the group. If it's a small group meeting just with your team, great. If it's a big group meeting like this, all of David Moses' team, be there. If it's the convention, it's the celebration, be there. There's no excuses here. None. You pay the price, you get the rewards. It's going to take some people longer than others, but plug in, please. Now, one of the things that my old mentor taught me was this, and one of the things he said to me was, Reed, I want you to say this 10 times a day, every day, until you make $1 million. I said, okay. And I did it. It didn't matter what it was, I'll tell you what it was. It was this. First, that's our attitude at the beginning of a task, which more than anything else will bring about its successful outcome. First, it's our attitude at the beginning of a task, which more than anything else will bring about its successful outcome. So our attitude controls all of it. And it will control our successful outcome. But first, it is our attitude that controls it. And so let's, when your upline says, read this book, read the book. When he says, listen to this information, listen to it. Follow instructions. I still follow instructions. I give instructions, but I'm going to follow instructions as well. We got to be good followers as well as good leaders. And that's the way to do it. So anyway, bottom line is there is great power in numbers. So get involved in numbers. Feel the energy. Get wrapped up in it. I've never seen a timing like this with a company so strong, so powerful, products so validated. All we got to do is go run it and plug in. And that's it. Be excited.
Thank you, Reed. I appreciate it. Another multi-million dollar nugget segment. You all give Reed some love in the chat. So the question now is, what's the plan? What's the plan? We're kind of hitting on 3 P's tonight: the power and team. Now the plan. What's the plan? And the plan here, team, is to build a cadence and a rhythm of consistent opportunities for you to plug into. And so we're going to build a rhythm of a weekly opportunity Zoom. And this week, we're going to have a bonus Zoom. Every now and then, we'll throw a bonus Zoom in. And so on Thursday, and we'll get the whole Zoom number capacity fixed between now and then, I would love for there to be 200 people learning the tips and tricks from some of our top enrollers and recruiters on, maybe you're a little rusty. Maybe you're hitting the reset button. This is a perfect time to, revise some of your skill sets and learn from those who are rocking and rolling, those who are really bringing on new people into the business. So this Thursday, January 2nd, with the same Zoom at 9 p.m. Eastern time, you're going to learn some tips and tricks from some of our top recruiters. We're talking about Dr. Jerry Brown, Janelle Bleefernick, Becky Forbes, and others who are going to share some tips and tricks. And then, at least in January, we're testing this. So this is all a test and sort to say who's in it to win it in 2025. David and I are going to be sharing lots of financial resources pending on your commitment. So we're hopeful that your commitment is not for just one day or not for just 1 week, but a commitment for a period of time so this thing gets sticky. Maybe put in the chat, sticky. You want a sticky business, and it starts with you. The next step is 2, but you must, just like Joanne and Reed alluded to a few minutes ago, you must plug in, and you must plug in with this enthusiasm. Remember, enthusiasm costs nothing to have. It costs everything not to. So you want to have that enthusiasm. So next Wednesday, we'll start our weekly opportunity Zoom. We'll give you the details in the days to come, but that'll be at 9 p.m. And that's a tool, a consistent opportunity tool for you to plug in, for your team to plug in, and more importantly, David, for our team's prospects, for their guests to learn about the story, learn about the products, learn about the opportunity, learn about what's possible for them. And then the next one is events, and we're going to be hosting one here locally in Kentucky on Saturday, January 25th, 10 a.m. We'll get more details about that, but that's really a placeholder, David, of the fact that we're committed. We're committed to go to you. So if you're in a market and you're looking to build some new associates and a customer base, talk to us, reach out to us. We'll set up a Zoom. We'll build a strategy and a plan for you to grow your market, or grow your markets, plural, and we'll go and support you in 2025. So that's the three, a weekly cadence of opportunity Zooms, a monthly cadence of us coming together on a team-wide Zoom with the energy, the excitement, vision, direction, training, promotions, and next, or on January 27th, which will be our next team-wide Zoom, Monday, January 27th, at 9:30 Eastern, we'll be having a special guest. The CEO of Isagenix, Sharon Walsh, has committed to be a part of this team-wide Zoom. That's her commitment and the vision of what she sees in this team for 2025. So we've got to step our game up, bring in some a new crop of leaders, but it does start with us. And so I want to reach out to the tactician, Mr. Methodical. We call him Jason the Best West. This is someone who has his own team, has his own cadence. And so we're not going to be disrupting anything other people does, but I will always love his perspective because, Jason, I want to hear what you have to say about the power of team, about the plan that we have in place. And I know you have some good Moringa news to share as well.
Well, hey, Chris, it's good to be with everyone. I am disappointed that we maxed out and didn't have everybody here tonight because, like you said, there's power in numbers. And when you're putting a plan together, you want to share that plan, that vision, increase hope and belief with many, many people. And I'm just a little irritated that, like you, that we maxed out the call. But here's what I'm thinking about the plan. You know, you reached out and you shared this with me. I was excited, ecstatic, because at the end of the day, when you have groups of people here coming together and hearing the same message with a different story and a different flavor, but it's the sound of one beat, the one drum, one voice, and the voice of the leadership is all going to say the same thing in a different flavor. So I was thrilled. And this past Saturday, I took my daughter to her first NFL game, and it just reminded me, a few years ago, these stadiums were empty, and the players didn't have the energy and synergy to feed off of empty stadiums. That stadium was a sellout crowd, 66,800 people. My eardrums were vibrating. It was so loud. And the players were able to perform at such an elite high level because of the energy inside of the stadium. They did things they don't normally do in special situations. And that's what we have here in 2025. We have a special situation, a special time in this season to make something special happen. And like you said, Chris, I got some exciting Moringa news to share with everybody. And I'm just going to read it word for word. This is hot off the press, Thursday, December 26th. People said, Jason, what's the Christmas gift you got that you like the most? I said, I got exciting Moringa news. And they just looked at me. I said, this was the best Christmas gift I could ever get. And this was, you know, when we asked our CEO, what can we share on tonight? I'm reading exactly what she said and not mixing anything up. She said, you can tell them whilst our goal was to give the most concentrated, powerful Moringa, we understand the concerns and we are gearing back up to bring that step back in the process that we skipped during the July 10th batch and the fall September, October batch. We are bringing that step back in the process. That's all the news that I have in Moringa. I don't know when. I don't have any other details. But Chris, I'm excited about what we are going to do in January and go, because it's the people who show up that get to experience the energy, and it becomes contagious where they have a hard time sleeping at night. And that is what set me on fire when I first started, is knowing I had trouble sleeping at night because I would get on calls like this and be excited and have trouble going to sleep.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Jason. That's great news. More to come on the Moringa. We'll let you know. You got to stay plugged in. If you're plugged in, you'll know some more details. And Jason, appreciate the analogy relating to the NFL game. The energy is contagious. Let's review here as we move towards the back end of our call, and I'll bring on David to share some wisdom and knowledge and perspective. Let's just take a pause here and let's review some next steps. Like, Chris, so what do I do? What do I do? And what I want to encourage all of you to do is what Jesse shared just last week on our Isagenix call. We call it trim the fat here in our whole household, but he called it getting light. And what I would encourage you to do over these next couple of days is to reflect, refuel, and regain control, the 3 R's. And that's how you get light. And that allows you to then what? Make a list, revise a list, plant some seeds, make a commitment, make the decision, kill all doubt. This is your path for 2025. This is your side hustle. This is the way in which you're going to create an opportunity for your future, for your family, better health, better wealth, all the different areas, a championship community, and set yourself up with the recruiting Zoom on Thursday. Now, somebody might say, or some of you might say, but Chris, I'm just not sure I can do it. And I would say, look at the bumblebee. And then you say, well, what do you mean? Well, the law of aerodynamics say the bumblebee can't fly. Its body is too heavy for its wings. Team, the problem with that is the bumblebee doesn't know this fact. And so it flies anyway for all to see. So remember that when you're losing hope and belief in yourself. Remember that when you're losing hope and belief in Isagenix. There was a study done in Harvard in the 1950s where a doctor placed rats in a pool of water to see how long the rats would tread water. And on average, they'd give up and sink after 20 minutes. But right before they gave up due to exhaustion, the researchers would pluck them out, dry them off, and then let them rest for a few minutes and then send them in for a second round. My question to you, team, is how long? How long did they last the second round? Another 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes? Put in the chat. What do you think? The answer is 60 hours. 60 hours, a 240x increase. The conclusion drawn was that because the rats believed they would eventually be rescued, they pushed past what they thought was possible. And so don't let the thought of what you don't have underestimate the power of what you do have. You have more than enough. Stop being negative about what could go wrong and start being positive about what could go right. Turn your impossible to I'm possible. You see, I wasn't an overachiever when I started. I was an overbeliever. And that's what I would encourage you to be as you move into 2025. And now, how many of you are ready to unlock some money for yourself and your team as we close down the call tonight? You see, David and I, over the years, have participated in millions of dollars that we have dispersed to our teams with different incentives, small incentives, big incentives, weekly, monthly. I've given away cars. A few years ago, I gave away $150,000 at the conventions. A couple of you have big checks from that are on this call right now. And in conversations with David Moses, we said, you know what? We're going to build a cadence and a rhythm of opportunity of training and vision, but we also want to provide resources for acceleration. And so we're going to introduce phase one. This is phase one because, again, we're in a test and a sort to see who's in it to win it, who's ready to do this in a big way in 2025. So again, this business starts with you, but the next step is two. And so this commission month in January and in phase one, the whole goal is to load the system, and position yourself and your team for phase two to do what? To unlock the treasure chest, to unlock the chest of resources that's going to be available for you and your team. But it starts, and so what do? In the commission month of January, your job starts with you, but the next step is two, is you're going to enroll 2 new people at 100 QV on subscription. That's as simple as it gets. Any product, 100 QV on subscription, but we don't want to make the minimum the maximum. And so if you enroll 3, that's in Kentucky, we call that gooder, that'd be better. And then if you enroll 5 or more, that would be best. So good, better, best. There's advantage for you to bring on more new team members to Isagenix. And next month, we will be sharing what that next step is. And I'm excited to bring on David Moses. We've been doing lots of calls in recent weeks. David, would love to hear your thoughts on this call. Lots of energy. We hate the fact that we hit the capacity, and we'll figure that out. But would love to hear your vision on the plan, the numbers, the resources, and the opportunity ahead for all of us in 2025 if we plug in, come together, stick together, pull together, and move one band, one sound.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, and it's good to be here. Good to be here with all of the team. It's been a while since we've all come together as a single unit, and I think I was on the plane on the way back from Mexico, thinking, what should we cover on this? And I think the first thing is some gratitude and thanks and acknowledgement to all of us for all that we've accomplished since this team began, which was back in October of 2007. So it's been 15 years. I mean, since then, I think Chris has now got 5 kids. He didn't have any kids at the time, and I've got 3 grandkids, and there's been so many evolutions, so many things that have happened. But I can go even further back, and this is in the context of where we can go going into 2025 and beyond. I started my career back in December of 1989, and I can track back relationships and phone calls and connections with people some 35 years ago that have led to this very moment with all of us that are on this broadcast. At some level, it's all interwoven all the way back to picking up the phone way back when there was no computers, no voicemail, no nothing, way back. And when you look at that, bringing us to the present, what this organization has done, this team, our current team, whether it just be customers, part-timers, some of the full-timers, or the people that have taken it to into the stratosphere, we're here as a direct result of connections, right? Together, we've already accomplished, I don't know the exact number, but we've done over $1 billion in product purchases, product consumption. Lives have been changed in a variety of different areas, whether it be health or financial. I recall we were doing conference calls. I mean, this is before Zoom, 2008, and I remember Chris on one of those conference calls, and I was thinking to myself, that guy's really good. He was sharing his testimonial, right? That guy's going to do something. And, here we are today. So we got together, and I was talking to Chris over the last couple of weeks. I said, you know what, Chris, it's a unique moment right now in Isagenix. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been changes in the industry, and certainly changes since I began, but no doubt since Reed began 50 years ago, and evolutions. It's all part of the process. But going forward, I said to Chris, you know what? There is no team that's really got its act together at this moment in the company. There's lots of people doing different things, and there's people, breaking some ranks, but there's no one that's really in stride. And I said, you know what? We pull the team together and bring all the energy together and hit the ground running. I think we could end up being the tip of the spear, the leading edge of the entire company. A whole, a second wind, a new generation. So I said, where I'm at in my career, I don't want to say I'm satiated, but I'm more interested at this point. I've had my share of recognition. I know Chris has had his. It's the next generation. It's all the new people. It's the people that 5 years down the road are going to be the legacy members, right? I said, let's put a daily method of operation together, weekly events and so forth. Each of the teams will be doing what they're doing, but we can pull together a team event once a month, provide other incentive, other resources, so that we can, create the necessary foundation for the next generation to excel and excel quickly, create new stories, and over the next 3 to 6 months, create a whole new class of up-and-coming leaders. And so that was the purpose. So on the 27th, I believe it's the 27th is what you've got set with Sharon. We're going to unveil what that looks like in terms of an additional bonus structure based on, I think it's sponsoring 2 is the minimum, right? Enroll 2, 3 is better, 5 is best, and anything beyond that, you're a rock star. And then within all of that activity, within all that new blood that comes in, this is what happens. As I said, what happened from 30 years ago that brings us to the present, leaders emerge, sometimes from the people we sponsor, but most of the time through the people that they lead us to. So when you have new blood coming into the system, and we load the system with activity, second level, third level, right? Using the team builder bonus and so forth, leaders will emerge. And when we find those leaders, I've got one now, that came in through 2 or 3 levels of activity underneath Reed, Tra, who's on the line, new team in San Francisco that's starting to move, right? Through building in depth, through the new blood, we will identify who the next big runners are, the ones that will create thousands of people. The next Chris Estes, the next Jason West, the next Joanne McMahon, the next Reed Nelson, and so forth, the next Pat Anderson, right? So our next generation leaders will come from this new activity, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited about that. And Chris, it's a beautiful thing. I want to thank you also for the decade and a half of what you've contributed to this team, and thanks for joining back in 2008.
It's been a minute. Thank you, David. I appreciate your vision, your direction, all that you do for the team. It's an exciting time, and team, it's a time to get out of the fog of the complex into the clarity of the simple, because simple scales, fancy fails. It's the dawn of a new day here at Isagenix. It's a dawn of a new day inside of this team. It's time for all of us to do what? To hit the reset, the restart, the relaunch button. It's time to do a checkup from the neck up, knowing that you can't win in your business if you're losing in your mind. It's time for all the winners and warriors and champions to step up, speak out, and stand strong, to run with the runners and love everyone else. It's time to grind or get left behind. It's time to get up, not give up, to dig in, not give in. It's time to create a bunch of hope dealers and doubt killers, to be a momentum maker, to go all in and all out, to be unshakable and unbreakable, to take the bull by the horn, to put the pedal to the metal. It's time for the leaders to make things happen, not watch things happen or wonder what just happened. It's time to have a drive to thrive, team, in 2025. I believe that your best days are just ahead. Something good's going to happen. You all get your hopes up, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Thank you all for being on tonight.
Thank you all. Thank you. Woo!
Thank you, all.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
So much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Recording is thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.